What's going on, y'all? This is Mike Brown, and I just wanted to welcome y'all to this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. It's finally here. I finally released my podcasting course. It is a 5-part course. It's very easy to use and learn, and I'm just giving away all the tools and tips that I've gained on my journey of podcasting to help you all on your journey. So if you're interested, you can log on to www.theartoflettinggopodcast.com and sign up. Time moves fast when you live it up. I've been podcasting for a while. I'm not giving up, recording myself in 3rd grade. I was still a pup, not the big dog, teaching people just to fill his cup. No fraud or gimmick, I feel to win it. You gotta be yourself, all the other shit won't help. I'm retracing what I felt, taking looks at being 35, reflecting on the challenges and lessons that kept me alive, and the accomplishments what I took. Forgot that I wrote a book called COVID and shook back. I trust my gut and look how far it got me. Don't feel like nothing stopped me except for the beginning of this podcast. Let me stop. Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Recording on my old equipment today because I've been using it with the students. I've been teaching podcasting to the kids. But yeah, today is my last episode, being 35 years old. And this feels good. This feels good because I received a card from my mom with a timeline of my journey of just where I've been like throughout my life up to this point. And man, I've done a whole lot of shit. Shit. 5 years ago, I started this podcast in November. 10 years ago, I opened up about my sexuality with people and like just being open and out with the people in my life. And man, looking at both of those and where I am today, it's been a fucking journey. It's been a ride. And you know, I was thinking earlier, if life moves in cycles, then I'm about to step into a really dope one, because I remember when I came out at 26, like life had just opened up, and experiencing a whole lot of new things, but experiencing a whole lot of new shit, but I felt free. And that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling free. And it's scary at times. It is. But before I get into that, I just wanted to recap, like, just where I've been in the last year and where I'm at today. Because I clearly remember my 35th birthday party. I'm not really a nigga to throw birthday parties and shit. I usually take every year to just really reflect by myself. Probably go to the beach and, you know, just take some time to myself. And I'm probably still gonna take some time to do that. But yeah, I remember I was at the beach and a couple of people asked me what I was doing, and I told people that I was gonna be at the beach, and they showed up, and I last minute threw together like a little flyer, just putting it out there like, hey, I'm celebrating my birthday here. And man, buku people showed up from all different parts of my life, and that felt really special. I cried quite a few times, just being there and, you know, just being surrounded by so much love. And one of the things that I told myself when I turned 35 was that I wasn't going to meet guys on apps anymore. And that was not true. I mean, I did for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I did for a long time. I was actually meeting guys, like just being out. And I'm not saying I was meeting guys all the time, but you know, the times where I was meeting guys once I got into 35, it was in person. And I ended up in a relationship kind of early at 35 off of that. And you know, my biggest lesson, because and I laugh because the relationship didn't work out. Not that it's funny, but it's just like, man, I did that. I learned in that little bit of time, I learned a lot. I learned not to rush things. You know, I think there's a Frank Ocean line that goes, at first I was rushing for the wait, but this time I'm waiting for the rush. Infatuation is your rush. I think infatuation was my rush at one point in my life. You know, it feels good when you meet somebody and, you know, you having fun all the time, you know, going out, drinking, having a good time. But I think for me, always when I'm focused is when I kind of get that feeling of, man, am I supposed to be here or not? And yeah, I think when I started to get a little serious about what I was doing as far as like with this podcast and just where I wanted to just take my life in general. But going back to the apps, yeah, I told myself that I wasn't going to get on apps no more. And for a long time I didn't, because obviously in the beginning of 35 I was in a relationship, and I would say maybe around like April I started like kind of dibbling back in the apps, and I experienced it in a different way because I actually put my info on there. I put the podcast on there, and I wasn't able to, you know, just hide behind a picture. And when I say apps, I'm not talking, I don't know what y'all be doing on the apps, but you know, most of these gay apps essentially are hookup apps. Yes, you can meet people and friends and shit. I've made friends on there, you know, that I've never slept with, but you know, a lot of times it's really that hookup energy. And putting my information out there was just like, all right, I can't be out here wilding out, because now I am attached to what I'm putting out there. And I would go in and out, and then I got off the apps, maybe stayed on for like a month, got off, and then I got back on to start doing conversations on there. And I don't know, it just ain't feel that great being on the apps. It felt just empty, you know. It's kind of one of those things of just searching for something that ain't there. And I will say in the past couple of months, I haven't been on. But going into 36, I don't think that serves any purpose in my life anymore. Like, you know, it was nice to meet people for intimacy. It was nice to connect with people as friends. It was nice to go on there and like socialize and connect with people, but it doesn't feel like a space that feels good to me. And, you know, I don't want to just put that energy on myself. I want to be very intentional in 36 with just all that I'm doing, you know, not just dating, but how I'm living my life. Like, I want to be intentional about everything, you know, asking them why am I doing this? What do I want from this? You know,
And I'm not saying I'm that conscious that I'm gonna think of it every time, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to be mindful. That's why I do a lot of that mindful meditation and stuff. But yeah, moving on from that, I just had to give that real quick. But I put out a book in 35, and that's something I've been talking about for years, and I love that. Granted, I may get to some of these goals kind of slow. I do get to them, you know. I remember telling my homeboy E-Rev in 2010 that I was going to write a book. I remember saying last year that I was going to put out a book. And in order for me to put out that book, it took motherfucking COVID. I caught COVID in January. Probably after Mexico, because I was in Mexico, and not blaming Mexico for it at all. But I probably caught it in Mexico because that's where I was at. And came back and was like, fuck. People are dying from this shit. And I like, thankfully, thank God, I didn't do bad with it. So it was like, okay, if you're gonna survive this shit, you might as well live it up all the way. And yeah, I finished my book and I put it out during that time. And that was fucking dope. It was really dope. And, you know, after putting out the book, I did some shit with Spotify. And, man, 35 has been live, you know, when I think about it. And I think 35 is when I really, truly stepped into my real life, like how I really truly want to live my life. I quit my job, and that was before Beyonce. But yeah, I quit my job, and that was one of the goals that I had written down going into 2010. But you know, the biggest thing that I've been doing this year has really just been trusting my feelings and following those feelings. And every time that I followed, it's worked out and it's been right. You know, when I'm done with something, man, I gave up my dog. Gave up a more. And that was hard. That was really hard. But I told myself, if I am going to give up my dog, it can't be for no reason. Like, I have to give 100% to everything I have. And I've been doing that shit. I have, you know, everything that I've said I wanted to do this year, I've done it. Just about, not everything. I'm not going to say everything, but I've either done it or I'm doing it. And the only place that I really truly lack is in my financial goals. And I realize that there's a lot of fear tied into finances for me. And that is something I want to leave in this 35. And I really want to bring financial abundance in the 36. Because I work hard. And I deserve that. We all do. But I'm speaking for me right now. I deserve that. I'm not out here bullshitting with my life. I'm moving the best that I possibly can, and also recognizing there's space to move even sharper. And I've been working on that these past couple of months. You know, it's taking me some time to get out of that employee mindset. From having a job for so long to now being a creative entrepreneur, and going from getting a check every 2 weeks, no matter how hard you work or how little you work, to going from busting your ass all the time and maybe seeing a check, maybe not seeing a check for some months. This shit ain't easy. But I also know that I'm capable of creating the life I want, because that's what I've been doing. And I'm doing it. And September was rough as fuck. September was really rough. Mercury was also in retrograde, so it could have also been that. But oh man, yeah. Made it through the retrograde, and that all brought us here today. I know I'm kind of just jumping around because I want to get to some of these listener questions. I could talk all day about being 35, but I feel like some of these questions will probably help me guide what I really truly want to talk about. Like, I'm just in my thoughts and my feelings right now. Like, I really felt like last week I had some more lessons to learn. You know, if I could jump back, I really felt like I had some more lessons to learn, and I wouldn't feel 36 until I learned these lessons. And this past week has shown me to really just enjoy life and appreciate life. Like, we only get to live this motherfucker once that we know of, and this shit should not be spent stressing all the time. Let that shit go. I can't tell you how to let it go, but whether it's writing a fucking journal, starting a podcast, playing a basketball game, making a song, find a way to deal with this shit. Wow, I'm recording this on Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day, and that's just some real shit. Cause man, when this shit was most stressful for me, I was going outside, I was meditating, took my ass to Miami and New York, and really focused on being present. And in being present, I wasn't thinking about the stresses I had, and I found myself also just not wanting to distract myself anymore. I feel like in the past I would find ways to distract myself from accomplishing what I needed to accomplish, or even feeling what I needed to feel. And sometimes I just let myself feel something so I could feel it and then move through that shit. And I don't know, that might be my biggest lesson of 35, is to just enjoy life. And maybe another lesson may come up, but I would like to get to these listener questions. So here we go with Ask Me a Question. Our first question comes from Tori, and it says, what's one thing that you plan to do differently in the next year? Something that I plan to do differently in the next year is to be confident in being compensated for my work and knowing the value of my work. I feel like the times that I felt most shorted in what I do is when I just had no idea of what I was doing. So just me being clear on what's going on and my value before somebody else could tell me what that value is. And like I said, also being okay with being compensated for my work. Like, you know, I taught 35 hours a week, and I accepted what they gave me. But with this, what I'm doing right now, I delegate what it's worth. And I needed to say that out loud right now, just to remind myself that I determine what my worth is. I'm not working for nobody right now. And don't get me wrong, it ain't nothing wrong with working for anybody. But I've always settled in having a job. And in what I'm doing right now, I don't have to settle. Thank you, Tori, for that question. All right, this one is from my sister Megan. What are your favorite games on each system you've owned? Fuck. Let's see if I can remember every system I own. So on the first Nintendo, I would say Super Mario 3. Mario Brothers 3. That was probably my favorite one, where you could get the tail and turn into like the raccoon. On the Sega, my favorite game might have been, I feel like I played Mortal Kombat or Michael Jackson Moonwalker the most. What was after that? I know I had the first PlayStation, and I think I used to play like, what was the name of that racing game? Oh no, I'm lying. Because I was gonna say I can't even think of the name of it, but NBA Live was probably my favorite game on the first PlayStation. PlayStation 2, it probably was also NBA Live. Or when did Grand Theft Auto 3 come out? Was that PlayStation 2 or 3? I can't remember. But Grand Theft Auto 3 is in there also. And on the Dreamcast, it was probably NBA 2K. Played a lot of basketball games. On the 64, it was GoldenEye. And I don't think I had anything outside of that. Not that I could think of. Nothing that comes clear to mind. But yeah, those were my favorite games on my systems that I own. Thank you for that question, Megan. From Colby, what you doing for your birthday? Teaching kids podcasting, releasing a podcasting course, which will be available whenever you hear this podcast at theartoflettinggopodcast.com. From ASAP Chubbs, ASAP Mob, shout out. What has been your biggest struggle on your mental and emotional wellness journey? And how did you master it? My biggest challenge on my emotional wellness journey, I think, would be as soon as I get comfortable, I get uncomfortable. And that's with people, places, and things. And to deal with it, I feel like I had to accept that change is the only thing that life has guaranteed me. So when it comes, I just gotta adapt. And that's been my biggest thing, is adapting to change, because a lot of times I will be uncomfortable and try to get to a point of comfort, and then when I get to that point of comfort, there's a period of me being comfortable, and then I will fall out of that comfort when I need to grow some more. And I think a way of dealing with that, and now that I'm really thinking about it out loud, is just being present. Just being present to what's going on today, as opposed to thinking about the next comfort, the next discomfort. Like really just knowing like, hey, this is where I want to go, but this is where I'm at today. So accepting where I'm at today has been really helpful in my journey of emotional wellness. Like being present, appreciating today, and knowing that more is coming tomorrow. Thank you for that, ASAP Chubbs. And I also got another question from ASAP Chubbs.
Take this and eBay it, and all you phantom owners know why you can't stand me. Got one in Virginia, another one in Miami. Yes, sir. Both sip or keep it player, man. And we can both pull the misses, keep it player, man. Or we could both ride our wrists, keep it player, man. Or you could swam cocksuck if you a hater, man. I keep them ladies going.
It's James Woods, aka That Yoga Dude, with Feel Free to Feel Free. Feel free to face your fears. Feel free to face your doubts. Feel free to let go. Feel free to accept. Feel free to love. Feel free to care. Feel free to receive. Feel free to support. Feel free to dream. Feel free to breathe. Feel free to relax. Feel free to calm. Feel free to peace. Feel free to joy. Feel free to heal. Feel free to learn. Feel free to love. Feel free to breathe. Feel free to allow your authentic self to come through and share with the world. And as always, feel free to feel free, and namaste. Peace.
All right, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. My memory card was full. That's something that happens when you podcast, so you got to always make sure you got some backup equipment, which I talk about in my podcasting course, which is available now whenever you listen to this. Oh, so back to ASAP Chubbs' second question. Anxiety and insecurities in dating. If I could be so honest, I would say in my recent life, meaning present day, I don't feel anxiety and insecurity. In fact, insecurity is probably the furthest from my mind. Mind you, I'm not out here looking for nothing right now. I'm not out here on the prowl for nobody. Because I get to experience security within myself, and meeting someone else that has a sense of security within their own bodies, you're able to pour into each other. And sometimes somebody can pour into you so much that you start to find that security in yourself in the realm of dating. I've had many partners that have tried to make me feel insecure or just build me up in a space where I'm insecure and put me down in that same space. So I don't experience that right now. I experience it in a different way, in the sense of like I had to find, and I know I feel like I'm all over the place, but like just to kind of reel it back in on the insecurity portion, I really had to find security within myself. You know, there was a relationship I was in where this guy just poured into me like crazy, and I accepted that as validation of who I was. And when I lost that validation, I had to find it within myself. And the pandemic took me deeper into that, like growing out my hair and, you know, going from a place of people always telling you, oh, you need to have a haircut, you need to do this, you need to do that, to like seeing myself, like really fully seeing myself and being like, man, I'm still attractive, and not just this physical shell, because this physical shell is very attractive. But
seeing the internal beauty, like knowing like, man, the work that I've done on myself makes me beautiful. The work that I am doing constantly, because it never stops. You know, I don't want you to ever think that it just stops at some point. That goes back to comfort. But yeah, I think finding that security within myself helped me to be able to accept compliments and shit. Like, I never used to be able to accept compliments just because I was insecure. You know, like somebody telling me I was attractive, in my head I'm always like, why do they find me attractive? Why this? Why that? No, you know why. Like, when you find it within yourself, you understand why. And that's why when people do tell me that I'm attractive, I'm handsome, I'm this, thank you. I appreciate it. I know it. I'll say I know it, but I do know it. And that's why, for me, in dating, I want somebody to see beyond this external beauty. I want somebody to see the full version of me and see the attraction in that and the beauty in that. And man, when you do find that and when you do feel that, I'm telling you, it's gonna feel different. And you should not settle for less than that. You should not settle for less than somebody that finds your entire being beautiful. Trust me, I know. And anxiety. And I hope that answered the insecurity portion. I really do, because I know I was kind of all over the place, and I really gave another answer, but like I said, the recording stopped because I ran out of memory. But we back in. And anxiety. The way I get over anxiety in dating is being honest, being real about how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling anxious, I'm gonna call it out, because I like to understand why am I feeling this, you know, and whatever, you know, it could be a past experience, it could be anything, it could be the day, you know. So I try to just be honest with what I'm feeling, and that's kind of how I get through that. So thank you for those questions, ASAP Chubbs. I left this person's name anonymous because I'm sure it was a joke question, but I want you to know that I listen to y'all jokes, so I'm gonna answer it. But anonymous person asked me, how big are you? And I'm going to assume that this person was just talking about how big I feel and not how big my private areas are. So we're gonna go with, I feel colossal, like Lil Wayne said. I feel colossal right now. I do feel big. I feel like I feel like I'm at that level where people starting to know me, and I'm looking at this from an external perspective right now, but I'll tell you why I feel big internally. But I'm not at that level where I can get shit for free. I look forward to that. So if y'all listening and y'all got free clothing for me, free whatever, I'll take it and I'll wear that shit on here. But yeah, I'm not at the level of getting shit for free, but I'm getting to that level where people starting to know a little bit about me, or at least this podcast. So that's dope. But internally, I feel big because, man, I see and feel my growth in real time. I feel it in real time. Oh, and going back to ASAP Chubbs' anxiety question, a way I deal with anxiety is by being present. Because if I'm always thinking about the future, if I'm always thinking about, you know, the past, whatever, I just gotta be present in that moment, and that kind of eases that for me. But going back to big, man, the way that I deal with challenges in life as opposed to how I did in the past, I feel big. I feel big grown. you know, if I'm gonna be big. I feel big grown. And I'm just proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself for how I move. And yeah. I quit. I walked away from a fucking job. You know how hard that is? It was pretty hard. I ain't gonna lie, it was hard. Cause I didn't know what was next. Sometimes I still don't, but I don't, but I do. So that's why I feel big right now, cause I'm out here skydiving. Skydiving life. Thank you, Anonymous Straight Man. Ooh, from Jessica. How are you going to make 36 different from year 35? Like I said, my biggest thing is shifting my mindset. So stepping out of that employee mindset, stepping out of that small mindset, and being big. You know, being big and being the creative entrepreneur that I know I am. Also, I'm really feeling like going into 36, I don't think weed is going to be able to come with us. Maybe on vacation. Maybe. But I think at 36, it's time for us to part ways. It's time for us to part ways. And that makes me sad. But also I know it's for the better for both of us for now. You know, we just need a break from each other. And I'm also going to give myself grace if I ever go back. But yeah, we need a break from each other right now, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, 36 is really going to be about mindset, shifting that mind, and the mindset has been shifting in 35. So being present in where I'm at, in my thoughts and my feelings and stuff. And yeah, that's the biggest thing. And my last question is, how Libra are you? And that is from Albert. I don't know. So, I mean, I'm not super into astrology, but I know that Beyonce said we was fun. So I guess that's accurate about me. You know, I've been told that Libras make people feel I forgot what somebody told me, but it made sense to me. I think it was like we make everybody feel important, and I think I have that trait a little bit. I'm trying to break it, but people are important. So yeah, if they're important, I'm gonna make them feel important, or I'm gonna just make people feel good. I don't know what it means to be a true Libra, but I think I am. Like when I hear about Libras and who we are and what we do, I fall in line with a lot of that stuff. So let's say yes to being a true and through Libra. Fun like a Libra. Shout out to Beyonce. And thank you, Albert, for that question. But that's what I got for y'all. And if I were to give my younger self a piece of advice, it would be to just follow your feelings and trust your gut. Believe what you feel. And also take time to like really think about those feelings. But if you feel something, you're feeling it for a reason. So always look into that reason of what you're feeling. And a piece of advice that I would give, a reminder that I would give to my future self would just be to keep enjoying life. Keep finding joy in this motherfucker as long as you walk in this earth, as long as you are breathing. Keep finding joy, because I think that's what's pushing us to the next stages every time. Like we just keep seeking, meaning the multiple stages of me. We keep seeking joy. We keep seeking those things that make us feel good and make us feel full. And yeah, that's what I want to keep doing. And that's all I got for y'all. I know this was kind of a long episode for a solo, but I just had a lot to get off. It's been a minute since I've given one of these, so I just wanted to get off some feelings and some thoughts. Podcasting course is available now, teaching you guys how to podcast. If you want to start your own podcast, share your story. I got a Slack community for that, where we can all build and grow together, because I want to give y'all y'all everything that I have. You know, I'm not some podcast guru, but I've seen success, at least what I consider success, off of doing this. So if I can help other people be successful, why not? And I think I'm a pretty good teacher, so check it out. New merch coming out. Got some new merch available, a couple of pieces, but November is our 5th year anniversary, so we're going to have a whole lot of merch coming out during that time. I'm going to do some really cool episodes for the 5th year anniversary. So send me your questions. Send me your favorite episodes. Toss me all that shit, because I really want to make November dope. I got ideas, but I would love to hear from y'all and hear just what y'all think I should be doing. Also, we got a Patreon. You can subscribe to the Patreon. Don't turn the episode off yet. Still listen, because I got one more thing for y'all. I'm trying to build a team. I need help with everything. I need help with editing. I would love to collaborate with some photographers, some musicians, some marketing people. Like, if you think that you can help me grow this podcast in any kind of way, let's work together. Reach out. Hit me up, because I want to grow. And I recognize it's only so much that I could do by myself. You know, I ain't Prince, so I ain't trying to do it all by myself. I would love y'all help. So if you think that we could grow together, you know, let me know how I can support you in what you're doing. And I for sure could tell you how you can support me, because I'm trying to figure it all out, and it ain't working doing it by myself. It is working. Let me take that back. Let me switch up that negative self-talk. And it is working, but I want it to grow bigger than what it is. So I need y'all help. So if you think you can support me in any kind of way, I ain't got no money right now, but we working on it. And if you know how to get to the money, let's get to the money. I got the product. I got $1 million worth of ideas. I just need some support in getting them off. So thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all so much for joining me on this birthday episode. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. This is Mike Brown. And shit, I'm getting older. Should I go by Michael now? Nah, fuck that. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Peace. See y'all in the 36. Peace. Thank y'all for tuning into this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to the podcast. Also, be sure to leave a review. Let people know what you think. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, podcasting course, how to create a dope podcast, is available now on theartoflettinggopodcast.com. Got some new merch up. Also, please subscribe to the Patreon for some exclusive content. We hear y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much for listening. And this is The Art of Letting Go. Peace.